Hello everyone. This is the first lecture in this AWS from zero to hero training. And in this video, we're gonna see at the prerequisites you will be need to have if you have opted for this training. So this is basically based on like our most all of our lectures going to based on AWS. So we're gonna create. We need to have an AWS account ready with us. Okay, and as we are going to cover a lot, we will be working a lot in our Linux environment. So we will also see how you can create a Linux environment. If you don't need to worry if you are already working on Windows, if you're on MacBook, you just I'll show you how you can access and create a Linux environment on your system, right? So first of all, you need to have an AWS account. So right now you can see that I am on Amazon website, aws.amazon.com. And here I get an option of create a free AWS account. Okay. So what you need to do is the steps are very simple. First of all, you need to put in your contact number. Okay. You need to choose your country and you need to put your contact number here, and then you need to type in the security code. You can choose any of the below options, either via the verification via text message or maybe a voice call. So once you've done that, you will get an option to put the verification code like this, which will be coming to your mobile number that you will enter in the first step. Okay. Once you will enter the verification code, then you will get a link to add a payment card, maybe like a debit card or a credit card, whatever you want, because that is also required, because that is like a verification step that the AWS do. Okay, like if you are get any bill in future, so they will charge that bill from there. Okay, so once that is done, your account will be ready. But please note that it's not like once your account is ready, you can directly start using it. It may take up to 24 hours for all the services to get active. Okay, so once your account is ready, once you have put the username and password, so you will see you can log in. Okay, by going to AWS sign in page, let's type AWS sign in. Okay, so just click on here. If I click on log back end, so yep, so I am in my AWS console now. Okay, so now this is the AWS console, and these are just AWS services that you are seeing right now. So this is the console, but please note that again, it may take up to 24 hours for all the services to get active on your AWS. Okay, but mine is an old one, so I can use it right away. So the like after this is done, like after you have an AWS account ready with you, the next step we are going to do is, because we are first of all we are going to cover Linux fundamentals in this training, so we have a working Linux environment ready with us, right? So the most easiest way I'll show you in this video how you can have a Linux server running in AWS in your AWS account, and how you can access it in your Windows machine or MacBook if you are using MacBook. So whatever you're using. So I'll gonna show you all the options in that there, right? So basically, just don't worry about this EC2 and everything that you're seeing right now. So in terms of AWS, we call the server as EC2. Okay, and we're gonna see how we can launch a server in AWS. But again, we have a separate EC2 training section, so you don't need to worry about much of these terms that you are seeing right now on your screen: instances, launch types, saving plans, dedicated host. We are gonna discuss everything in our EC2 section. Okay, but what you need to do is you just need to click on launch instance. We are going to launch a Linux environment, okay, on Linux server on our AWS cloud. So basically, there are few operating systems which are purely based on Linux. So like we have an Ubuntu operating system, we have Red Hat, and we have CentOS. But moving forward onto this training, we are gonna use the Ubuntu operating system. Okay. So first step, you can type whatever name you want. Let's say Ubuntu server. And right here, I'm going to choose the Ubuntu operating system image, because moving forward, we are going to use Ubuntu only. And then you need to choose an instance type. Basically, instance type means how big your server would be. How big means how much CPU and how much memory I'm going to assign to my server. Just like your laptop has a memory and a CPU, right? 2-core CPU and 8 GB memory, 16 GB memory, right? So just similar to that, server in the cloud also needs to have the CPU and the memory with it. So you can choose any instance type, but let's as of now, let's choose this T2 medium. The next step is for a key pair. Basically, it is just like a, checkpoint. It is just like a file, security file that you need if you want to log into your server. I have already created one, but you need to click on create new pair. Then after that, you can type any name and then click on create new pair. So leave the rest, everything as it is. Don't worry about that. As I said, I'm going to cover everything in the EC2 section, but just for this prerequisite part, just leave everything as it is because we need to have a working Linux environment before we start jumping onto our training section, right? And this is like a hard drive, just like a laptop has a hard drive attached to it, right? Like 500 GB, 1 TB. This is like the hard drive which are going to attach with our EC2 server. Okay. Then finally, you can click on launch instance and your instance will be launched. Okay, just click on here and an instance will be launched. But you can see I have this already running in my environment, Ubuntu server. So let's say I want to SSH inside this, I want to log into this server. So how can I do that? Let's first take an example. If you are on a Windows machine, how you can do that. So I have created basically I'm on MacBook right now, but I have also created a Windows environment. So let me jump directly into it. Okay, so just wait. So this is my right now I'm inside my Windows server. Okay, and if I do ls, so this is, you can see what you need to do is in your Windows machine, just open the PowerShell. Okay, we're going to use PowerShell to log into our Ubuntu server that we just launched. So you can just launch PowerShell like this. Okay, and the next step for you is because you have already downloaded that key pair into your machine. So what you can do is, as in my case, this is present inside here, ubuntu.pem file. That is the name of my key pair. Okay. So the command to SSH is, so wait. So the command to SSH is, let me just zoom in a bit so that you can guys can see clearly. Yep. So the command is SSH space hyphen I, the key pair name, that is ubuntu.pem in my case, and the user of your server. In my case, that is Ubuntu. Um, I'll show you on the AWS console how you can find your server user. But if I, because I have launched an Ubuntu server on AWS, the user is going to be an Ubuntu user. Okay. And then finally, the public IP of your server, right? 3.27.205.206. So if I press enter now, so boom, now I am inside my Ubuntu machine, which I have launched on my AWS, and that I have connected using my Windows environment. Okay, so you can do anything now. Just this is very pretty simple, right? So you can do that with your Windows machine as well. Now let me show you. Let me jump back to my AWS console again. Let me show you a few things. So this is the public IP that we use to connect to our Ubuntu machine. That is this particular machine right here, right? And if I want to find out the username, what you need to do is you need to click on connect. So if you click on connect, so basically instance connect. So you see, you can find the username here. In my case, the username is Ubuntu. Okay. Now let's say if you are on MacBook, so the process is pretty simple. Okay. The process is again pretty simple. So what you need to do is just simply run the command like ssh-i Ubuntu and then Ubuntu @ public IP. So yes, right now I have logged in. You can see the private IP is 172.314 and 146. 172.314 and 146. Let me mess that with the private IP of this machine. So yes, 172.314 and 146. So that's it. I hope all what we have done till now is clear to you. And just before proceeding to the next lecture, just make sure that you have a working AWS account ready. And then after that, you need to launch a Linux environment on your AWS account. So thank you guys. I'll see you in the next lecture.